Okay, let's get started today. Now, for a business plan, yeah, we've had a whole bunch of people just jump on in the last few minutes. So let me wait just a little bit more here. And while we're waiting, let me show you this. By the way, please don't take notes on this first part. I'm showing you this, in my opinion, as a bad example for creating a business plan. Now, do you guys all see this? I just want to make sure you're seeing the same thing I do. The business plan provided by Pinnacle Quest Consulting. If you do, can you click the webinar dashboard button to raise your hand? Make sure that we're all seeing the same thing. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to lower those hands. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you what a typical business plan is. Now, this comes from a professional consulting company. They're designed for a real estate business plan. And I don't know about you, but I would like you guys to just raise your hands when you start tuning out, okay? When you start thinking, oh man, I'm never going to do this. So I'm going to go through this business plan here with you. And the minute you start to think, oh, this looks like too much trouble, I want you to raise your hand on the webinar dashboard panel. It's a button with an arrow on it. And let me know, okay? I'm just curious. So first of all, in their business plan, you've got your mission statement. We studied mission statements a lot back in college. So do you have a mission statement? And what does that mean for you and your business? Next, we've got a SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And we've got a couple of pages here where we can go through and list all of these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Then we can come down here with our business objective. We can plan out 5 years, 1 year, 6 months, and I'm going through this all pretty quickly. Personal objectives, personal, family, spiritual, social, goals for each of those things. What's your why for doing that? And this is honestly the only thing so far that even interests me, okay? Your goal, what's your why, what's your resolve, and what's your action items. To me, this is the first time in, what are we, 6, 7 pages in, no, 8 pages into it. The first time I see anything of value, okay? What's your income goal? This is valuable. How much money per month or year? How many closings per month or year do you need to hit that? A cash flow budget. I tell you what, I've shut down, well, with that SWOT analysis, I shut down. But seriously, I'm going to track, I mean, yeah, I pay my bills and stuff, but I don't know if you guys have heard me in other trainings. Interest expense, insurance, tracking all of this stuff, monthly, quarterly, yearly, to me, that's on a computer program. I'm not making a plan for each of these little things. I don't know if you guys are. Now you've got an action plan for each goal. And I do like this. You've got your main goal, what's your action plan, due date, and assignment. Okay. Now you've got your business marketing plan. And the only thing I like about this one is that it gives you different ideas of what to do. You've got your sphere of influence. There's a couple of different things here that you can do. Prospecting, e-marketing, website. So there are some things on here that could give you some ideas. Career path, activities designed to meet people, personal marketing activities, professional development. So there's some value in this business plan. But for, I think, 99.9% of us, I'll go ahead and lower those hands. Thanks, you guys. For most of us, as we go through this business plan, even though we have some great ideas on some of these pages, the problem is, and this is a great sales pitch. If I were a consulting company like these guys are that developed it, probably putting together something like this would make a lot of sense. The problem is translating this to action becomes difficult, especially when we look at some of these earlier things, this SWOT analysis. What does it matter? Strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. I mean, honestly, what does it matter? At the end of the day, I have a job to do. Okay, if that job is a weakness to me, I need to do better at it. It doesn't matter if it's a weakness. I have to do the job. Now, I'm simplifying things, and I have a brain that works that way. Okay, I just cut through a lot of crap and say, let's get to work. let's do the job. And my problem with forms like this is that in a lot of ways, I think it can backfire and justify somebody not performing, okay? For example, they do this and maybe they spend a couple of hours or so filling out their strengths and weaknesses. What are the good opportunities facing them? What obstacles do you face? What's your competition doing? So they do all of this research, and all it does is justify the obstacles that are in their way. It justifies possibly their reasons for failure, all right? So you're filling out all of these things, and to me, the answer is a little bit more simple. Now, also, I hate planning out 5 years. If you're a brand new agent and you've never made money in real estate, it's hard to plan out 5 years, okay? If you're an agent that's always made $30,000 or $40,000, the national average is right around $40,000 for a full-time real estate agent. If that's you and you go through my training and you push it up to $100,000, you can't plan out 5 years because your life completely changes from $40,000 to $100,000 in income, okay? You start to get busy to the point where you consider hiring assistants or at least using a transaction coordinator or something from the office. You start having more money where you can do marketing. And so all of this stuff down here where we got really detailed with our, where was our marketing budget? Right here. We got real detailed with our marketing budget. None of it applies anymore because once we start working, all of a sudden we have money for marketing, which we never used to have before, okay? So again, I think you can spend a lot of time on this stuff, but to pull it out every day and review it and actually have it matter in your life, I don't think happens. So what I want to do with you instead is, I'm going to go through this, set yourself up for your best year ever, okay? A guy named Michael Hyatt put this together, the 8 strategies super successful high achievers use to prepare for the new year. Now this is like new year planning, but to me if you're making a business plan or working on your business plan, then it doesn't matter what time of the year you're doing it, that's your new year. That's when you're starting. As we go through this, you're going to notice that most of these things that we talk about, these 8 strategies super successful people do, it's not a one-time thing. These are habits and things that they do all the time, okay? And that's why if you're making a business plan, I want it to be something that you're changing yourself, okay? It's just a different way of acting every day. Not just one thing where you sit down and fill out a SWOT analysis and a detailed budget and all of that stuff, because there is some, well, if you go through all of that work and you fill out that paperwork and stuff, but you don't revisit it every day, it doesn't mean a lot to you. You know, towards the end of that, we had goals and activities that we could do and things like that. And if you pulled that out every day, that might help you out. But most of that stuff, about 80% of that program, to me, is wasted time and a distraction. So I want to set you up for your best year ever. Let's go through these slides here real quick. First of all, at the end of the year or whenever you make your business plan, what he's done is he's gone through and asked some of the greatest high achievers, Tony Robbins, Jeff Walker, Chalene Johnson, Dave Ramsey, and over and over and over, their responses overlap. And I don't know if you guys are like me, where you like to get in and study and read some of these self-development books or business books in general, but they don't have a lot of unique concepts. What they're very good at, all of these people, are taking a common concept, most of which you can find in books like the Bible or something, and they bring it down to earth, to our level, to our day, and make it directly applicable to us. And they're very good at that, just rephrasing things that have been around for years. So it's no surprise, really, that very successful people have similar threads that overlap, all right? We've got John Maxwell, one of my favorite authors. He takes some time and stops and reflects, okay? He goes over the whole last year's calendar, And we're going to learn some things from these guys that will, basically we're seeing little, what are they called? Easter eggs that we're going to pull out of this, okay? If he's looking back over his last year's calendar, that means that he kept a calendar, that he had a plan, that he was detailed. All right, if you're flying by the seat of your pants, it's not going to work for you, not if you want to be on a top producer type level. So he goes back over his calendar and just reviews what he did well. Tony Robbins does the same thing. He goes through and collects his accomplishments, magic moments in a journal, kind of like saving up receipts, and he just reflects on some of the great things that he's done throughout the year, some of the valuable things. Now, when we talked in my training about your affirmations, it's kind of the same idea. You take some time and think about what is really most important to you. And that's what you're accomplishing here with this. Before you make your goals, before you do all of this stuff, because it's dangerous if you sit down and make a bunch of goals with a business planner, because they're going to tell you what you need to do to be successful in business. What you need to do first, though, is figure out what you want to be successful in life. Because if your business goals contradict your family goals, and family is more important to you, then you'll find yourself sacrificing one of the two and not being happy about it, okay? And there's a serious danger in doing that. So first we want to do what these do. Take some moment to reflect. Find out in your life, just like we did with our affirmation training, find out in your life what is the most important thing for you. Okay, what are the things that you really value? Is it a great big house on the hill, or is it a simple life that allows you to go to your kids' soccer games, to not have stress, to travel when you want to? Do you need the fanciest car? You know, do you need the $100,000 car to, so when you show up at realtor meetings or board meetings that people look at you and say, oh yeah, that's a successful agent? If you need that, great. If you don't care about that stuff, then don't let the world tell you that you do. So don't make other people's goals your goals. Take some moment to reflect, find out what's valuable to you, and use that. And so with these guys, a lot of them, they're using their past plan. They're, you know, this guy just goes back, reflects, contemplation, and prayer. Next, stay positive, all right? And this is something that you don't just do once. This is a day after day activity. Kind of like what they just did. They reviewed their past year, and one of the keys to staying positive, excuse me for just a moment while I clear my throat. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. One of the keys to staying positive is, again, taking that time with your affirmations to figure out what's important to you, because the world is bound and determined to make you unhappy, okay? I'll give you some real quick examples. If you're on Facebook at all, you go through all the media posts, if you watch the news, if you listen to talk shows, it's all doom and gloom, okay? They take the smallest things, blow them way out of proportion. They try to get people excited, try to get people sharing it, and usually it is not positive stuff, okay? They try to bog you down with it. Advertisements try to make you unhappy because you're not as thin or pretty as that person on TV. Your car isn't nearly as nice as that car. You need nicer home. You need all of this stuff, nicer clothing. Everything out there, all this marketing stuff is designed to make you unhappy with the way that your life is, because that creates a need. And once you have a need, you got to fill that by going out and buying their products. So every form of marketing out there, all of this stuff is designed to make you sad with your current state in life. And every day, get grounded. Review your affirmations, review what's important to you, and make sure that you're in a positive state of mind that helps you know that, you know what, it doesn't matter what the world says. I am where I want to be. I've got my little family. I'm making X amount of money per year. Yes, I could make more if I wanted to, but that would mean sacrificing more time away from my family. Or it could be the other way around. It could be, you know what? I've got my priorities here, and I'm spending a little bit too much time away from my family. My family is what's important, and I'm going to get back on track and spend some time with them, okay? Staying in a positive frame of mind, regardless of where your business is going or whatever, is very important. All right, let's see if we can go down here. Okay, so Andy Andrews. This is another thing that I like, and we covered this a little bit in handling some of our unconscious things that hold us back. He said, I scour my heart clean in preparation for the new year by forgiving those I need to forgive, and I always include that person who often seems to disappoint me most, myself. All right? And yeah, sometimes that happens. You know, you forgive yourself, but if you take some time every day to get grounded in what's important for you, then you can go to work fresh and invigorated. You don't feel guilt for things that you've done because every day you have clear, concise directions about where you should be going that day, which is, again, something that I think that other business plan was lacking. Nowhere in there, I had a lot of ideas, but nowhere does it give me clear, concise directions every single day of what I need to be doing. The third habit that they get into is express gratitude, okay? Ray Edwards says he starts preparing with a gratitude flood. In his journal, he writes down every good thing he can remember from the past year. If you're doing this on a daily basis, I'll show you my plan later on, but 5 things a day that you're grateful for, and be very specific. You know, not just I'm grateful for my wife, but I'm grateful that my wife does this for me every day. I'm grateful that my wife always greets me with a hug when I come home after a hard day of work or whatever it is. Be specific about some of those things. Think about it and live with an attitude of gratitude because it does change every day that you go out to work. When we go to work with an attitude of need or greed, and if you're a brand new agent, it's hard not to have a little bit of need in your approach. But even as a brand new agent who doesn't have a deal under your belt yet, start with an attitude of gratitude. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful I got my real estate license and for this new business venture. And then when you go out, have that excitement. Before you go into an appointment, take 5 minutes, you know, out in your car and just go through these things that you're grateful for so that when you're in front of people, you're positive, you're grateful for the chance that you're there to be able to serve them. It's not, man, I really need this thing. I'm desperate, you know. It's not that way because even if you took 2 people and they did the exact same presentation and said the exact same words, the one that was needy versus the one that comes in and is happy and has a grateful heart, they're going to come off differently. Exact same presentations, but one is just more attractive for you to work with. We like working with people that are upbeat, okay? So have an attitude of gratitude. Couple of these. Writing down a lot of stuff for a year. John Gordon tries to stay in the spirit all year. He takes a daily walk of gratitude. While walking, I practice gratitude and pray. The research shows you can't be stressed and thankful at the same time. If you do this walk just one day, you won't experience a huge benefit, but if you do it daily, you notice incredible benefits and major life change. I don't know if I shared with you guys this thing that I did similar to this, but I had a challenge with a local business owner. He's a neighbor of mine and actually a friend since elementary school. Successful business owner, not in real estate. We were talking the other day, and he said, if you could change one thing about your life, what would it be? And it was this. I said, you know what? I am stressed out all the time, and I have no reason to be. I've got a great wife. I've got wonderful kids. I've got a job that I absolutely love. I wouldn't even retire if I had the choice. You know, if I were 65 today and plenty of money, I'd keep doing my job because I love doing my job. But I'm stressed out all the time. I said the one thing I would change is take 5 to 15 minutes every day and meditate and just think about the things that I'm grateful for. And so we made a challenge that I think we did it for 3 months. And he had a different thing that he was going to work on. And if we failed the challenge, we had a penalty we had to pay to each other. That changed my life. 3 months of taking this daily walk of gratitude, and sometimes it was a walk, sometimes it was just meditation in bed. Taking some time to be grateful for what I had changed my life. Okay? All right, next, eliminate the excess. So Derek Halpern is relentless about this. I review my previous year and decide what I won't do in the upcoming year. And I don't just quit things I hate. I try to quit things I love that aren't delivering the results I want. In other words, I kill my darlings. And that's tough to do. But there are things in your business that you hate to do. And if you get really good at the things that you love to do, then you can farm out some of those other things. Whether you get an assistant or you just pay for a transaction coordinator or you get a little bit of help with your marketing. I've done a couple of things. I hate taking calls day and night for showing appointments. So I pay a little bit a month and I have a showing service, do all of that stuff for me. To me, that was a time waster and very effective, and getting rid of that time waster makes me more productive in some other things. So Ray Edwards says, I set myself up for a great year by ruthlessly eliminating the bottom 30% of activities, projects, and commitments from the previous year. By removing those from my calendar, I get space to focus on the things that give me the biggest payoff. So eliminate the excess. But again, how do you know what the excess is if you're not tracking daily events? You have to keep some kind of a journal and record some things, all right? Next is set compelling goals. So we don't get to goals until we're 5 out of the 8 strategies through it, because there's a lot of base work that needs to be done before you just go out and start making goals. You got to have your head in the right place. You got to know what's important to you, not what's important to all the marketers out there trying to get your business, but what's truly important to you. And then when you have that foundation, now you can set your compelling goals, the things that are truly important to you. And they keep mentioning the power in that word why, okay? Have your goal and have a reason that's important to you for accomplishing that goal. Dave Ramsey says, what can I work on next year that makes me smile? Then my mind automatically moves from the strategic to the tactical. How can I organize my work and my life to do the things that cause me to smile more? I like that. Let's see here. Using the SMART technique. We've talked about that in our goal making. I'm not going to go a lot into goals today because I have other trainings that are recorded for you where we talk specifically about the SMART technique, specific, measurable, and again, I changed the A. For them, it's attainable. For me, it's action. Specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-specific is the SMART acronym. And then you go out and start mapping your goals, all right? Next, we break it down. We take those goals and we break it down into manageable chunks, things that we're going to do right now, today, that gives me something specifically to do, all right? So Chris Ducker starts with a few big goals for the year, usually no more than 3, and then he breaks those down into specific goals. Now, I would encourage you, make life goals, not just real estate goals, but make life goals so that you feel like you're in balance. So if you have a life goal of time with your family, set that time aside, okay? That time can be sacred, whether that be vacation time or just a Saturday with your kids playing their ball games or something, okay? That can be part of your life goal. If all you do is make business goals, then again, you're going to be lopsided, you're not going to be happy, and you're not going to be satisfied with the direction that you're going. So again, this has helped if you've gotten your mind in the right place, if you've gotten your affirmations put together. But have a well-rounded goal system and then break it down to manageable chunks, okay? So if your goal is to do a vacation, then for me, I like doing vacations in December or January because that's our slowest time. And so that means I can set some money aside. I'll have the plane tickets well in advance. We have a good plan, and we can break it down into chunks. But that also means that I don't worry when I do have to work a little bit extra because my family knows we have time scheduled for them. So if there's some times I got to go in and work on a Saturday and maybe neglect some family things, then my family understands there's a balance there. And there are other times when they know for certain that they always come first, and because of that balance, I get a little bit more slack cut to me when I do have to make some work sacrifices, which come up as well. All right, your day is your week, is your month, is your year. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. If I want to make $100,000 a year in real estate, that doesn't tell me anything what I need to do today. So I need to break that down into small daily chunks that I can translate into actions to do right now today. And we've done that, again, with our goal system. Scheduling the year out in advance. And this is all kind of tying in together. I block out calendar time for my most important outcomes. Vacation, fun and time off, major business and creative projects, those stakes in the ground ensure that what's most important happens. And I think that's key. Okay, so whether it be a vacation, whether it be work time, for me, I try not to plan very much during the summer months because that's a busy time for us. A great time to rupture your Achilles tendon, go through surgery, and be on forced bed rest, for sure. Sorry, a little tongue-in-cheek there. But it is important to get those strong stakes in the ground so that the rest of the tent that you set up is based on a good, clear foundation. So book those things out. Schedule the big things out in the year so that, again, you can go to your family and say, all right, this is the time we have set aside. I'm going to be working really hard these months, so when all the other families are going on vacation, don't feel bad. Those vacation resorts are packed and crammed full. We're going to get to go to Disneyland when it's about half as full as everybody else, okay? And we've got it planned, and then your kids are happy and you're happy, and everybody gets to move forward. Seeing the big picture in advance allows me to work with more purpose throughout the year because you know you have fun things planned. You also know that you have your work planned. You've got time set aside for family. So you know that you've planned a balanced life and you don't have to sit and worry about it, whether or not you're actually doing what you should be doing. And then lastly, it's important to unplug for a time. So take some time off. Make sure that you do have some vacation time scheduled. This is probably the worst thing for me, is I'm not very good at vacationing. I do, well, I'm doing 1 week a year now, but there were about 5 or 6 years I didn't ever take a vacation. Like I said, I like my job, so it wasn't a big deal, but I've got to create those memories with my family, and I do find it makes a difference when I unplug for a bit. So get good at scheduling those things out. Now, I'm going to take you from this page, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I do to, let's see here, to take all of those little scripts that I just gave you and actually make it work for me. So you should be seeing now my monthly business plan guide, or you could call it a yearly plan guide if you wanted to. So for me, with my affirmations and stuff, I'm going to fill out one of these each month. Now, what this does for me is not only does it help me make a business plan, and like we just read with those 8 habits, we're going to break down our income goal down into daily steps, okay? But what this does is it's a 1-page piece of paper that keeps my goals and my tracking right in front of me, all right, which is something that a 20-page business plan is never going to do for you. So for me, most effective thing for me is to just cut through all that garbage, make me a simple, direct business plan. This is my yearly/monthly plan guide. So got my name up here. Let's say I'm starting in August. All right, I'm going to have a plan for August. I want to make $100,000 a year in income. That means I'm going to have about 24 transactions a year. We have a little bit smaller houses in the Ogden area. They're not, you know, $300,000 or $400,000. They're 150 or something. So I'm going to need to do about 24 transactions to hit my income goal. That means I'm going to be doing 2 transactions a month. In order to close 2 transactions a month, I've tracked, and I have buyers sometimes that fail to buy. They damage their credit, they change their mind, they move out of state, stuff happens. I have sellers that fail to sell for various reasons as well. So I'm going to need to get 4 clients a month in order to close 2 a month, because there are going to be some that sign on with me that don't eventually buy or sell for whatever reason. So I'm going to get 4 clients to close 2. Now my weekly appointment goal, in order to get my 4 clients, this is something that I'm going to learn over time. If you don't have any experience, then you can guess at this. But if I'm a brand new agent, I probably need to talk to 8 to 10 people, appointments a month to get 4 actually signing on with me. So I'm going to need probably 2 appointments a week, every week, in order to get 4 clients a month to sign on with me. If I'm a seasoned agent, I might convert 100% of them. And that's something that you learn as you go. And again, that's why your monthly business plan guide, it can be a little bit adaptable to you. So in order to set 2 appointments a week, I'm going to need to make daily calls of, let's say, about 20 calls a day. So if I'm making 20 calls a day to my sphere of influence, to for sale by owners, maybe I'm walking my farm neighborhood and they're not actual calls, but they're door knocking or contacts at doors. If I'm doing my 20 calls a day, then that should give me the results I want. All right. Now, down here I can track my weekly calls, monthly, yearly, the appointments that I set, and so on. Let me take you to the form that I use for this. All right. Let me pull this one up. Okay, so this is my weekly goal checklist. And I use this side by side with my monthly plan. So I've got my monthly plan with my goals, but now I need to actually start recording what I'm doing. This is what keeps me focused through the day. If I'm going to get 300 points a week, if I work Saturdays, then I'm going to need 50 points a day. If I don't work Saturdays, if I'd like to keep my weekends free, then I need to be getting 60 points a day minimum. So that would be 12 calls. Okay, if I'm just doing calls, 12 times 5 is 60. But I know I want to do a little bit more than that. I wanted to do 20 contacts a day. So this basically gives me points, and it helps me cut through some of the clutter. You'll notice that I don't get any time for searching Facebook, okay? I don't get any time for, or I don't get any points. There's no point value assigned for polishing up my presentation. That isn't stuff that makes me money. Yeah, you might have to spend some time polishing it up, but don't use that as an excuse to not contact people. Contacting people is where the money is made in this business. So I get points for different forms of contacting. I get points for a couple of things of training that I can do. Remember, my goal for my trainings, when I'm contacting somebody, my goal is to always set an appointment. Be it a buyer or a seller, I want to do an appointment and an actual presentation so they can understand the true value that I'm going to bring to the table. So I get points for the appointments. I get points for going on the appointments, points for signing contracts with the clients. Okay, if they assign a buyer-broker agreement with me or a exclusive right-to-sell agreement with me, and then I get points for closings and offers and such. So this helps me stay focused, and it helps me stay on target so that every day I am doing work that matters. All right? From here, and by the way, I just do little hash marks. So if it's Monday and I'm making calls, I'll do little hash marks, and I'm going to do 5 here and 5 here and 5 here and 5 here. That's my 20 calls for the day. All right, or if I'm doing, that's my sphere of influence calls. If I'm doing some farming stuff, then that's going to be down here as well. So I get my hash marks in, I get my 20 points, and then I take that at the end of the week, because this is a weekly total here. At the end of the week, I go back to my monthly business plan guide, and I record it over here. So for my week 1, I'll just write in 80. Maybe I missed today. I fell a little bit short that week. So I should have had 100 contacts for that week. I made actually 80. So I'll just write the number 80, and I'll have a space here for 4 different numbers, and then I'll give my monthly total here. And as I go along, I'll also be recording a running yearly total. Now, that other sheet where we track our points, it also tells me what contacts I'm making, so that's my daily calls. How many of those are actually setting appointments, because I'm recording that as well. So I'm going to track those numbers, and then I can see if my goals are actually the way I predicted. Did it take me 20 contacts to set 2 weekly appointments? Okay, if not, do I need to make better contacts? Do I need to make more of them? Do I need to fine-tune my scripts? At my appointments, how many of them then an exclusive agreement with me to either buy or sell? That's my client goal right here. And this I can break down and now see. Okay, somebody's asked, will you be able to email us these as a PDF? I believe we have all of these for you on the Elevate site. So check the Elevate site. I believe they're there for you. If not, you can email me and I can include them for you. But I think they're all there on the Elevate site. I think we had them added. So basically, I can start to see here, and maybe I'm setting my 2 appointments a week, but I'm not getting my 4 clients a month. I'm less than a 50% conversion ratio. So if that's happened to me, then now I can see that I need to start working on my presentations. I need to clean those up. I need to sharpen it up a little bit. And then from there, my closing goal. Are my clients actually closing? So basically, if I'm tracking some of those numbers with that daily or weekly plan, then I can truly see if my goals make sense. And I can also see where I need training and development as an agent, and I can see it in real time. I don't have to wait till the end of the year. Or I've had agents come to me saying, we're just not cutting it. You know, we're not making the money. We're going to have to quit. You know, we haven't made any money for 12 months. Well, you should have known what the problem was a week or 2 into it, not 12 months later. This isn't a year-long evaluation. This is a daily evaluation. What did I do today? And you need to record those things. And every month you have a chance for a success journal. But what we haven't done is taken time for some of those other things. So I want to go over your daily plan. Next, let me show this one here really quick. All right, so this is our daily planning form. And here we're getting our head in the right place. Every day we get up and we do a check mark by each of these things along the top. Okay, we review our affirmations and our daily goals, which again, if you've got that monthly goal form there, it's 1 page, pull it out, look at it, save it on your desktop or whatever it is, review that every day, review your affirmations, get your head in the right place. Take some time every day to do some exercise. If your body's feeling good, your head's a little bit more clear as well. Plan every day in advance, which if you've got this form out, that's what you're doing. And then take every day to read or study or develop yourself, okay? Some kind of good, uplifting, positive book. Next, we're going to start with our attitude of gratitude. Every day, 5 things we're grateful for, and again, be detailed, okay? Then we're going to have our top 20 people that we need to contact. We're going to actually plan that out in advance so that if I get busy and I get on the road and maybe I get to my appointment 10 or 15 minutes early, well, I've got a list with names and phone numbers right there that I can be productive with. Next is the top 5 activities that we want to do today to reach our goals. So we've reviewed our goals. We've got them right in front of us. These are our affirmations. So my activities could be anything. It could be pick up flowers for my wife, because that's one of my affirmations, is to have a strong family environment. It could be I've got to get the signed contract over to the sellers. Okay? It could be something important for work. It could be pay the bills, because that's important. It doesn't matter. These Fab 5 aren't just business goals. These are part of your affirmations. So we're actually taking these big affirmations that say, this is who I want to be in life. In every part of my life, this is who I want to be. And I'm going to plan little daily activities. It all comes down to the little things. Okay, those small daily activities that I do. I'm going to play chess with my kids tonight. Okay, because, you know, they're just doing a lot of video games or something. I want to spend some time with them. So I'm going to actually plan that out in advance. So take some time every day, 15 minutes or so every morning, and go through this form and plan it out. Every day you've got a chance to record in your success journal, what did I do well today? If there is something I did poorly, think of one thing I can improve on, and this is your journal. And then you've got a monthly journal with that other form, looking back over the month. So basically, if you follow the system that I'm prescribing for you, then you'll be covering the 8 daily habits. Let's see here, this best year ever strategies. If we go back up here, these 8 strategies that these guys talk about, we're now doing these on a daily basis. Let's go through these again. Reflect on the past year. We're doing that every day, every week, and every month. We're reflecting back. We're seeing our numbers. We're seeing what worked, what didn't work, and we're on top of our game. All right? The next thing is stay positive. Every morning, we start out with a plan, with the things we're grateful for, and every evening, we record in our success journal, what did we do well today? Let's focus on the good things that we did, and the ratio is 3 to 1. 3 good things for 1 bad thing. All right? Keep yourself in a positive mindset. Express gratitude. Again, we're doing that every single day, not once a year. We're doing it every day because this is a matter of changing our life, not just making a once-a-year business plan that we check in with again a year later and see if it magically came true. We're going to go through the process of changing our life. Eliminate the excess. As you start to plan your day in advance, you're automatically going to start to filter out the things that aren't as important. As you become more focused on those things that are important, a lot of those other things are going to go away. Most of the excess that these guys at their level is talking about, as far as cutting out things that you love, I kill my darlings or whatever, that only comes into play when you're really doing great work. If you're being very successful so that even things that you love are in your bottom 30%, that's when that comes into play. But for most of us, there's a lot of pretty liberal time wasters that we engage in throughout the day. And the simple act of planning our day in advance will eliminate a lot of that because it keeps us focused. Having that plan in front of us keeps us focused. Set compelling goals. We've done that. We've got our affirmations. We review our goals. They're in front of us every single day. It's not something that we've got tucked away in a back closet. It's not something that we'll stumble onto in 5 years and say, wow, I can't believe it. We actually got this done. There is magic in writing a goal down. That's not the way it works. That's luck. What we're going to do is we're going to not rely on luck. We're going to actually treat it like a business. We're going to have our goals in front of us every day, and we're going to be planning up to 5 to 10 activities every day, small little actions that will bring those goals closer to us. That's our break it down step. So again, we're doing that on a daily basis. Who are the people I need to talk to? What are the things that I need to do in order to accomplish these goals? Schedule the year out in advance. That's the one thing that my plan doesn't do for you, is scheduling the year out and unplugging for a time. And that's something that you're going to have to do separately, is just have these plans out there. It does kind of come with the affirmations, but what I want you to focus on are your daily tasks. Every day, what am I doing today that can make me successful? And if you're recording the contacts that you're making and you're seeing how they generate or don't generate appointments, then that gives you a true real-time report of your business practice. And to me, that's a business plan for real estate. That's a plan for success, not an analysis of my strengths, weaknesses, all of that other stuff, okay, opportunities and threats. To me, that's a waste. What I want to know is, and by the way, that's my personal opinion. You don't have to take that for gospel. To me, what helps me is show me focus. Help me know what I need to do right now. Get me pointed in the right direction, and I'll go there and get it done. And for a self-employed person, we have to be showing ourselves. We have to be pointing ourselves in the right direction. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope this has been a valuable time spent. Again, if you go to Elevate, then you can, I believe it's under marketing forms. Most of my stuff is up there, so you should be able to find it all right there. And I hope you guys have a great week. I should be healthy from here forward, so we'll plan on next week continuing on with the program, and I hope to see you all on board next week or online next week. Take care.